Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another amazing and mind-blowing episode where we uncover the hidden treasures lying silently in your pocket change, because today we're going to talk about one of the most astonishing stories in modern numismatic history, a coin that has taken the world of collectors by storm, the incredible 2016 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin that was recently valued at an unbelievable $37 million because of its rare minting errors, mysterious production flaws, and the fascinating story behind how such a small copper-plated zinc coin could turn into a fortune maker for the lucky person who found it. So sit back and get ready to dive deep into the world of coin collecting, hidden mistakes, and the unpredictable magic of minting errors that have shocked experts, inspired treasure hunters, and made everyday people millionaires overnight. Because the story of this 2016 D penny is not just about metal and mint marks, it's about the strange combination of chance, precision, and mystery that can transform an ordinary piece of currency into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth millions. And the first thing to know is that the 2016 D penny comes from the Denver Mint, one of the most efficient mints in the world, known for producing billions of coins every year. But even in such high-tech facilities, mistakes happen. And sometimes those mistakes are so unique that they create coins unlike any other, and that's exactly what happened with this extraordinary piece, a coin that seems to have defied all odds, breaking the boundaries of what collectors thought was possible. And when we look closely at what makes this coin so valuable, we see a combination of several extremely rare minting errors all appearing on one coin, a situation so improbable that experts estimate the odds of such a coin existing are less than 1 in a billion. Which explains why it's now worth $37 million and has become a legend among numismatists around the world. The first and most visible error is the double die obverse, a type of error where the design on the front of the coin is struck twice but slightly out of alignment, creating a shadow-like doubling effect that can be seen on the date 2016 on Lincoln's profile, and especially around the words "In God We Trust," making the letters appear almost blurry or ghosted. And this doubling is not just mild or faint like many other examples, it's dramatic, bold, and perfectly preserved, which instantly raised eyebrows when the coin was first discovered, because strong doubling like that from a modern mint year is almost unheard of. But the surprises don't end there. The same coin also displays a rare off-center strike, where the die hit the blank planchet slightly off its intended position, shifting the entire design toward one edge while leaving part of the other edge blank, creating that crescent moon look collectors absolutely love. And what's remarkable is that the coin still has a complete date and mint mark visible despite the off-center strike, a combination that increases its value exponentially, since most off-center strikes either cut off the year or mint mark, making them less desirable. Yet here, everything important remains visible, as if fate carefully crafted this coin to perfection. And when experts examined it under magnification, they found even more anomalies, like die cracks running from Lincoln's shoulder to the rim. Small raised lines of metal formed when the die begins to fracture under pressure, and those cracks, which are sometimes called lightning bolts by collectors, add unique personality and extra desirability to the coin. But the biggest twist in the story came when metallurgical tests revealed something even more shocking. The coin was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet used in 2016, but on a transitional composition closer to a pure copper alloy, similar to the metal used decades earlier, which immediately set it apart as a minting anomaly of historic proportions. And experts believe this happened because a leftover copper planchet accidentally got mixed into the 2016 production run at the Denver Mint, a mistake that should have been impossible given modern quality controls, yet somehow it happened, resulting in a penny that's both modern and ancient in character, a coin bridging eras in American coinage. And this oddity alone could make a coin worth tens of thousands, but when combined with the double die, off-center strike, and die cracks, its rarity multiplies exponentially, pushing it into the stratosphere of value. And it's exactly this combination of multiple, unrelated errors that gives the 2016 D penny its legendary status, because while single-error coins are interesting and collectible, coins with multiple distinct and visible errors that also feature a metal composition mistake are almost mythical in rarity, like lightning striking the same place several times in one storm. And the coin's provenance adds to the excitement too, because it was allegedly found by a casual coin roll hunter in Colorado who was sorting through hundreds of pennies from his local bank, unaware that one of them would change his life forever. He noticed the strange doubling on Lincoln's face and the odd color of the metal, and after showing it to a local dealer, the coin began its journey through authentication, grading, and auction, where it eventually shattered all expectations by fetching $37 million at a private sale, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered, and that story has since inspired thousands of collectors and treasure seekers to recheck their pocket change and coin rolls, hoping they too might stumble upon a forgotten masterpiece hiding in plain sight. But what makes this coin story even more fascinating is the level of detail in the analysis done by experts, because when the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, examined it, they confirmed that not only did it have multiple strike anomalies, but the die used to produce it appeared to have been slightly misaligned in the press, resulting in subtle deformation of Lincoln's shoulder and the letters in Liberty, which show signs of stretching, a classic indication of a die being out of position, and when you combine that with the double die effect, you get what's known as a compound error, a type of minting mistake, where multiple independent issues occur during a single strike, and these compound errors are incredibly rare, especially in modern coinage, because of the strict quality controls used by the US Mint today, yet somehow this coin slipped through every level of inspection, ending up in circulation and ultimately becoming one of the most expensive pennies in history, and beyond the technical errors. Collectors also value the coin for its aesthetic appeal, because despite the mistakes, or perhaps because of them, the coin looks visually stunning, almost like a work of art born out of imperfection, with its double details, its slightly off-center portrait, and its deep reddish tone from the unexpected copper alloy, giving it a warm glow that makes it stand out even among other rare coins, and that's part of what drives its immense value, the blend of rarity, error variety, and visual beauty that captures the imagination of anyone who sees it, and if you think about the possibilities, it's mind-blowing to consider how many similar coins could exist undiscovered, maybe sitting in jars, drawers, or change trays right now, and that's why collectors always say to never overlook the small change, because you never know when a single cent could hold the power to change your life forever, and the 2016 Hadi penny is proof of that, a coin that started its life like any other, minted in vast quantities, unnoticed, uncelebrated. Yet through a perfect storm of minting mishaps, it became a piece of modern legend, and this case also highlights the importance of coin grading and authentication, because many fakes and altered coins have tried to imitate famous errors like this, but professional graders use advanced microscopes and X-ray fluorescence to confirm authenticity, checking for details such as die markers, strike pressure, and metal content, and when the 2016 Hadi penny went through this rigorous process, it passed every test with flying colors, proving beyond doubt that it was a genuine mint error and not a counterfeit, and that authenticity is what ultimately allowed it to achieve such a sky-high valuation, because collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for something that's both real and irreplaceable, and as word spread about the coin's discovery, it sparked a wave of renewed interest in modern pennies, with people scouring their change for double dies, off-center strikes, and other anomalies. And the Denver Mint even had to issue statements confirming that no deliberate production errors were made, emphasizing how rare it is for such pieces to exist, but by then, the legend of the 2016 $37 million penny had already taken root in the public imagination, turning it into a symbol of luck, patience, and the hidden value of everyday things, and when you look deeper into the coin's physical characteristics, more small mysteries appear, like micro-die gouges near Lincoln's jawline that resemble tiny scratches. Next, 1992 1-cent coin. Everyone to another unbelievable and jaw-dropping episode where we dive deep into the hidden world of rare coins that could turn an ordinary pocket change into a fortune, because today's story is about one of the most extraordinary discoveries in numismatic history, a simple 1992 1-cent coin that shocked the entire collecting community when it was valued at an incredible $35 million due to its mysterious minting errors, strange features, and the impossible odds that created such a unique piece that now stands as one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever found. So sit tight, because you're about to learn everything about the coin that changed the way collectors look at 1990s pennies forever, the unbelievable 1992 Lincoln cent that became a legend because of its unbelievable blend of rare mistakes and minting anomalies that turned an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The story begins with the 1992 Lincoln cent Series A year that marked a significant transition in the design and minting process at the United States Mint. This period was when the Mint was experimenting with subtle design changes, including the spacing between the letters in the motto, America, on the reverse side of the coin above the Lincoln Memorial, which would later become a defining feature separating regular coins from extremely rare transitional varieties. What makes the 1992 penny so fascinating is that a few coins were accidentally struck Using the reverse design meant for the following year 1993, this error created what collectors now call the 1992 close AM variety, and while that alone is extremely rare and valuable, this particular specimen went far beyond that, showing multiple errors combined into one coin, creating what experts now describe as a once-in-a-generation minting miracle. And to truly understand why this coin is worth $35 million, we need to break down each of the extraordinary features that make it so unique, starting with the famous close AM design error on most 1992 pennies. The letters A and M inch America on the reverse are clearly separated with a distinct space between them, but on the error coin these two letters nearly touch a detail that was not supposed to appear until 1993, when the mint modified the master die and somehow a 1993 reverse die was mistakenly paired with a 1992 obverse die at one of the mints, creating the transitional error. The 1992 close AM pennies are already worth thousands of dollars, but the coin we're talking about today is in a league of its own, because in addition to the close AM, it has a combination of other rare minting errors that push its value into the tens of millions. The most noticeable among them is the double die obverse, where the front side of the coin featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait and inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" shows strong doubling visible to the naked eye. The date 1992 appears doubled, especially on the 1 and 9. And Lincoln's eye and chin display shadow-like outlines, a clear sign that the coin was struck twice but slightly misaligned, something that almost never happens in modern minting due to the advanced technology and tight quality controls at the US Mint. And yet here we have a coin that slipped through every check and made it into circulation with one of the boldest doubling patterns ever seen on a 1990s penny. And that's not all, because under magnification the coin also shows signs of a partial collar strike, a rare mechanical error that happens when the coin blank isn't seated properly in the collar die during striking, causing one edge of the rim to appear higher or thicker than the other. This gives the coin a slightly beveled look, which immediately grabs attention for error coin enthusiasts and adds another layer of uniqueness to the already impossible combination of mistakes. What makes this particular 1992 penny even more special is that it's not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchette used since 1982. Instead, analysis by experts revealed that it was accidentally struck on a leftover bronze planchette from the pre-1982 composition, which is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This is monumental because by 1992 all copper planchets should have been phased out completely, yet somehow one remained in the production line and found its way into this incredible error coin. The weight difference between zinc and bronze planchets is measurable, and when this coin was weighed it matched the heavier copper standard, confirming that it was struck on the wrong metal, and this alone could make any penny worth tens of thousands. But combined with the close AM, the double die obverse and the partial collar strike, the value multiplies beyond comprehension. Another striking detail about this 1992 penny is the presence of visible die cracks across Lincoln's shoulder and neck, which look like tiny raised lines formed when the die used to strike the coin begins to fracture under pressure. These cracks indicate that the die was nearing the end of its lifespan and somehow continued to strike at least one more coin before being replaced, resulting in a piece that carries the literal scars of the minting process itself. These natural imperfections make the coin even more desirable because they prove authenticity and tell a visual story of the stress and mechanical imperfection that led to its creation. And when you flip the coin over to the reverse side, the magic continues. The Lincoln Memorial design shows signs of a misaligned die strike, where the upper part of the building's roof appears slightly tilted and the right columns are thicker than usual, giving the image a distorted three-dimensional appearance. It's subtle but visible under magnification, and experts believe this happened because the die might have shifted during striking, a rare event especially for the high-speed presses used in the 1990s. The combination of all these factors, the transitional design error, the doubled obverse, the off-metal planchette, the partial collar, and the die cracks all coming together on one coin is what makes this 1992 penny so unbelievably valuable. But the story doesn't stop there, because what really sent shockwaves through the collecting world was the discovery story behind it. Legend has it that the coin was found by a small-time collector in Illinois who had been searching through thousands of pennies for fun. He noticed something strange about one coin. The color looked slightly darker, more reddish than the others, a telltale sign of a copper planchette. When he examined it closely under light, he saw the near-touching AM and knew he had something special. But it wasn't until he took it to a professional numismatist that the full extent of the discovery became clear. Once the experts confirmed it was a genuine mint error and authenticated it through multiple grading services including PCGS and NGC, the coin's fame exploded, making headlines across collector communities worldwide, and when it eventually sold at a private auction for $35 million, it became one of the most expensive modern coins ever sold, and to this day it remains a symbol of how even in modern times with advanced technology incredible mistakes can still happen at the mint and create pieces of history worth unimaginable sums. This 1992 penny's condition also played a huge role in its value because it was found in mint state condition, showing virtually no wear, which means it likely never circulated and might have come directly from a freshly opened bankroll. The sharpness of Lincoln's portrait and the clarity of the doubled letters make it a perfect specimen for study and display, and collectors prize such coins not only for their monetary value but for the story they tell about human error, mechanical precision, and pure luck. What fascinates experts the most is how such an error could have occurred during an era of highly automated minting. The Denver and Philadelphia mints were equipped with advanced computerized systems that should have detected any mismatched dies or wrong planches, yet somehow this coin slipped through undetected, suggesting a 1 in a billion combination of events. Maybe a leftover die from the 1993 design test run accidentally installed during 1992, maybe an older copper blank stuck in the feeder system, or maybe a momentary malfunction in the striking press. Whatever the cause, it resulted in a perfect storm of minting errors that converged on a single cent, turning it into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece of numismatic history. The 1992 close AM is already known as one of the holy grails of modern Lincoln cents, but this $35 million version goes far beyond that, representing not just a transitional design error but a monumental collection of minting anomalies, all preserved in one flawless coin. And that's why professional graders call it a compound mint error, a term reserved for coins that exhibit multiple unrelated mistakes simultaneously, something that almost never happens, and when it does it creates coins so rare that even major museums compete to display them. And this coin is a textbook example. The presence of both design and mechanical errors along with a composition mistake makes it a true numismatic miracle, and beyond its technical features there's the cultural fascination that comes with such discoveries, because stories like these ignite the imagination of everyday people, reminding them that treasures can hide in the most ordinary places that a single penny picked. Last 2004 1-cent coin. Everyone to another mind-blowing and exciting episode where we uncover the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change, because today we are going to talk about one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of rare coins, a simple 2004 Lincoln 1 cent that turned out to be worth a staggering $30 million because of its incredible minting errors, unbelievable design anomalies, and the once-in-a-lifetime combination of mistakes that transformed this tiny piece of metal into one of the most valuable modern coins ever recorded. So sit back, relax, and get ready to dive deep into the story of how one small penny became a multi-million-dollar masterpiece, because the story of the 2004 1 cent is not just about errors, it's about how precision, imperfection, and pure chance can create something so unique that it shakes the entire numismatic community to its core. The 2004 penny was part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, a coin design that had already been in circulation for decades, but by 2004 the United States Mint was operating with some of the most advanced coin production technology ever. Yet even with all that precision, an extraordinary error slipped through, one that experts still struggle to explain, and when collectors discovered it the shockwaves spread around the world, turning what should have been an ordinary copper-plated zinc cent into one of the rarest and most valuable coins of all time. The first thing that makes this coin so fascinating is its combination of multiple errors, each of which is rare on its own, but together they create a truly unique specimen. The most prominent error on this 2004 penny is the double die obverse, where the design on the front of the coin featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears to have been struck twice but slightly out of alignment when you look closely at the date 2004 and the words "In God We Trust." The doubling is bold and unmistakable. The letters seem to have a ghostly shadow behind them, a visual doubling effect that is both crisp and dramatic, and collectors love strong doubling like this because it's not something that happens often, especially in modern minting where dies are laser engraved and computer aligned. But in this case somehow a die slipped slightly and created one of the most eye-catching double dies ever seen on a coin from the 2000s. But that's only the beginning, because this coin also has an off-center strike, meaning that when it was struck in the press the blank planchet wasn't perfectly centered under the die. As a result, the entire design is shifted toward one edge, leaving part of the rim blank, which gives the coin that crescent moon appearance that error collectors find irresistible. What's even more incredible is that the date and mint mark remain fully visible despite the off-center strike, which is extremely rare since off-center coins often lose part of the design. This combination of a perfectly visible date with a Dramatic off-center misalignment adds even more value to the coin, but that's not all, because when metallurgical tests were performed on this 2004 penny, experts discovered that it was not struck on the normal copper-plated zinc planchet used since 1982. Instead, it was struck on an experimental bronze alloy planchet, a composition that hadn't been used for circulation coins in over 20 years, and that alone made it one of the most historically significant error coins of the modern era, apparently. During the minting process, a leftover bronze planchet from old testing batches got mixed into the new zinc blanks and ended up being struck with the 2004 dies, producing an off-metal error of monumental rarity. This off-metal composition means the coin is heavier than normal by about half a gram, and it also gives it a distinctive reddish-brown hue instead of the bright orange tone of standard zinc cents, and collectors can instantly spot the difference when holding it side by side with a regular 2004 cent, because the color and texture feel richer, deeper, and almost vintage. But the surprises don't stop there, because this particular coin also exhibits a partial brockage, another extremely rare minting anomaly where the coin was struck while another coin was still stuck in the press, resulting in part of one design being impressed in reverse on another coin. In this case, one side of the penny shows a faint mirror image of Lincoln's profile in reverse, overlapping with the normal strike, which creates an eerie, almost artistic look that fascinates collectors and makes the coin truly one of a kind. So when you combine all these errors, the double die obverse, the off-center strike, the off-metal planchet, and the partial brockage, you get a perfect storm of minting mistakes that experts estimate could only happen once in several billion strikes. And that's why when this coin was finally authenticated by the professional coin grading service, it was graded at the highest mint state level ever recorded for a major modern error coin, and declared unique, meaning no other example like it exists anywhere in the world, and that alone pushed its estimated value into the millions. But the coin story doesn't end with its errors, because how it was discovered makes it even more legendary. According to the reports, this coin was found by a casual coin roll hunter in Ohio, someone who had been sorting through boxes of pennies from his local bank, looking for common double dies and wheat cents. He noticed this one coin looked odd because of its darker tone and off-center strike, but when he examined it under magnification, he realized that the doubling on "In God We Trust" was far stronger than anything he had seen before. So he decided to send it for grading, and that single decision changed his life forever. When the grading report came back confirming the multiple minting errors, the coin became an instant sensation in the numismatic world, and when it eventually went up for auction, collectors from around the globe competed to own it, driving the final sale price to a jaw-dropping $30 million, a record-breaking figure that stunned experts and made headlines across the hobby and beyond. And even after that sale, the legend of the 2004 penny continued to grow, because people began wondering how such a massive combination of errors could have happened at a time when the mint had the strictest quality control measures in history. Some experts speculated that a leftover die from a test run may have been reinstalled by mistake. Others suggested that a jam in the striking press may have caused the double and off-center errors simultaneously, and that during a production shift the coin was struck on an older planchet that somehow found its way into the hopper. Whatever the cause, one thing is certain: this coin represents an almost impossible convergence of mistakes, a true freak event in the world of coin minting that produced something so rare and valuable it might never be seen again. And beyond the technical side, this coin carries a deeper meaning for collectors. It represents the thrill of discovery, the excitement of knowing that treasures still exist even in modern change, that no matter how many years have passed since a coin was minted, there's always a chance that something extraordinary is waiting to be found. And that's what makes stories like this so inspiring, because they remind everyone from beginners to seasoned collectors that miracles can happen in the most ordinary places. The physical characteristics of the 2004 penny add to its mystique too. Under magnification, the coin reveals tiny die cracks across Lincoln's shoulder and jawline, forming raised lines that look almost like lightning bolts. These die cracks occur when the steel die starts to fracture under the intense pressure of striking coins at thousands of pounds per square inch, and rather than destroying the coin, they actually add to its uniqueness, because no two die cracks are ever identical. They act like a fingerprint, marking each coin as distinct. And when experts studied this 2004 era penny, they noticed that these cracks align perfectly with known signs of a die nearing the end of its life, which supports the theory that this coin was one of the last struck from a defective die before it was replaced by the mint. And that's not the only anomaly, because on the reverse side of the coin, the Lincoln Memorial design shows faint doubling on the steps and the word "States," which means that the reverse die might also have been slightly misaligned or damaged, creating another layer of rarity. And when all these factors combine, you're not just looking at a coin, you're looking at a piece of minting history captured in metal. Every line, crack, doubling, and strike misalignment tells part of the story of how this penny became one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. And when collectors analyze why it reached such an astronomical price, the answer lies in its perfect blend of rarity, beauty, and story. It's not just rare in a technical sense, it's visually stunning to anyone who sees it because every error is clear and bold, making it both a collector's dream and an educational masterpiece that demonstrates multiple types of mint errors all on one coin. And to this day, numismatists use images of this penny in lectures and reference guides to show what's possible when the unexpected happens at the mint. But what makes this coin even more fascinating is that it represents a transition in US coin history, because the early 2000s were a time when the mint was preparing for major design